All right, gang, I'm back in the garage. What I'm about to do now is start putting the outdrive together. Okay, let me show you what I got going on with this drive shaft. Okay, gang, what you're looking at, that's the drive shaft to the boat. Okay, this part right here, this is the bearing and the pinion, or I was just say like a pinion gear, and that goes inside of here. So what I'm about to start doing now is putting this together. I have my universal joints to replace the old ones. I took one out and it was pretty bad. Let me show you. So I took one out and here it is. And they were in pretty bad shape, as you can see. So I got new universal joints. On here, I've already taken this apart, cleaned the bearings, cleaned the race, but I can't put it back together because I had to get a new thrush washer. And that's what's in here, is my thrush washers. So I'm gonna put this back together. I'm gonna clean this once I get it all taken apart and change the seals right here. Clean it up real good and then get it installed. I've got my drive shaft all put back together. I had a little bit of a problem. I tell you, when you're replacing these U-joints and you take these caps off, be careful not to lose one of those bearings on the inside. You lose a bearing, you're gonna have to buy a whole new U-joint. Lucky for me, I spent some time looking for it and I was able to find it and get it put back in. So what we have is I have two new U-joints put in. I have a new, I guess, locking screw, or I forgot the name of this, but this is what locks it in. So I bought a new one of those. Then the only thing I got to do now is put a new thrush washer on here and then torque this down to 90 foot-pounds. So you go from set to 70, then you go to 90, and then make sure that I'm able to spin this, and I think I should be able to spin it. It should have something like, I want to say 7 inch-pounds, turning, rotating. So almost done. Once I get that thrush bearing, thrush washer put on, then I can install it and get the upper and lower unit put back together. All right, what I got here, this is the lower unit to my propeller, to my prop. So this is the lower portion of it. What I'm getting ready to do now is put the upper unit back onto the lower unit. All right, I've already replaced the impeller. So all of the mechanism inside here has been replaced. What the impeller is, this is the fresh water pump. It draws water in from these little vents on the side, and it draws water in and it supplies water to the engine. It helps get the water to the water pump, and then the water pump is what pushes the water through the engine and back out of the boat. So that's already been replaced. So right now, we're gonna get the upper unit back on the top unit. Before I put the upper unit back on, one of the things I wanna do is I wanna hit this shaft with some emery cloth. I wanna get this, get all this, like, I don't know what it is, but I wanna see if I can get that film off. And then I have to add a gasket on top of here. And then after I add the gasket, I'm going to put some grease so that when I put the upper unit on, it should slide on and be secure. All right, so let's get that taken care of first. Instead of using the emery cloth, I'm going to just use this. All right, hit it with some acetone. All righty. Now that I got that all sanded, what I'm gonna do is take some of this acetone and wipe it down, and that should keep it clean. And of course, you don't have to use acetone. I'm just using this. I mean, you probably could wipe it off with a little rag, or maybe if you got brake clean laying around, you can use brake clean. But I want to use acetone just to make sure that I got all of this clean. All right, right down the mating surface. Right around here. All right. Okay, now that I got this clean, there's a couple gaskets that I gotta put in. Oh, there it is. Gaskets. And what this gasket is, it's for this, there's a little hole right here. And what this hole allows for is when you start putting gear oil in, on these, you gotta fill it from the bottom, and it just allows the fluid to come up and fill up the upper unit. So there's a hole on the bottom of the upper unit, and then this hole right here on the bottom, on the lower unit, and it allows fluid to go back and forth between the two. If you don't have this gasket, what will happen is you'll have a leak. Once we get everything, now I've already pressure tested the upper and the lower unit. You have to pressure test these. You have to get like 15 PSI, and you gotta let it sit for 2 hours. And if it holds that pressure for that long, you're good to go. Then once I put it all together, I'm gonna re-pressure test it as a complete unit. And then when I do that one, I'll share that with you guys. But right now, we're gonna get these gaskets on. So I gotta get this gasket in here, and then I gotta put a gasket up here around the shaft. What I'm gonna do when I put the smaller of the gaskets on, I got right here, it's some gasket sealant. And what you do is, I'm not gonna put a lot, I just wanna put a little bit, because this stuff is pretty tacky, but I just wanna put a little bit so that it holds it in place. That's all, just a little bit. There it is, that should hold it in place. All righty. For this one, I'm gonna put some of my 2,4-C marine grease. So when you're rebuilding these, this is the grease that you want to use. This is what it calls for. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of grease right now so that this O-ring will slide on. And then once I get the O-ring over it, all right there, then I'm gonna put a nice amount on. So that when it connects with the upper unit, it'll be lubed. Okay, what this is my anoid kit that I got. I have two, I put these two on the boat already. This one, where this mounts to, it goes to the bottom of the gimbal housing. And I didn't feel like tapping and drilling the screws out, because I knew they were gonna be rusted in pretty well and they were gonna break off. So they'll put this on in a later date. But right now, what I gotta focus on is this one. This is the one that goes on the backside of this. If you do not put the screw in that goes to this right now before you connect these two, you will not be able to get it in, because it will not fit through the backside of that. So you got to put this on first. So I got a brand new bolt, which is right here. See, it won't fit back there. So you have to put it in right now. right there. Just so you see how the anodes look, this is the one that goes on the bottom of the gimbal housing. And again, this one looks like a little shark fin. It actually goes on here. And it actually is functional. This can act as a little trim. So like if if your boat, once you're in the water, if you notice like, hey, I'm constantly correcting to keep my boat from going straight, you can trim this to be left or right to compensate for that. So I'm just gonna set this in under here and then I'll tighten it later. Okay, there's a couple other things that we need to do before we slide the upper unit onto the lower unit. On this part, there's the gear shifter, right? So right here, this is the gear shifter. What you want to do is make sure this is turned all the way clockwise. You want to go clockwise, turn it all the way that way. And then you want to come back here to the back, down here to the shaft, and just make sure that it's locked in place. All right. And that's going to be counterclockwise. So I'm all set up with my lower unit to connect the upper unit. There is one thing on the upper unit, and I'll show you when I start to get that installed. All right. We're going to get this installed. This little piece right here, I don't know if you can see it. This is part of the gear shifter. This needs to be in the forward position, not this way, not to the side, not reverse like that. That right there is the forward position. All right, it should be right in line with this little hole right here. With that like that, we should be good to slide this on. Boom. And like that, it is in. All righty. Everything slid in. Perfect. Okay. All righty. I'm going to give me a piece of wood so that it doesn't lean like that. Okay. All righty. Okay, what I'm going to get now is the nuts that go on. There's a nut that goes here, two that go on the side under here that you want to start, and then one in the back. Okay, I'm going to get this bolted down, and then I'll show you at the end. All right, so these are the new stickers that I'm going to put on here. As you can see, I don't know if you can see, they got a little gray, little sandy sand tone to them. I think they're going to look really good on here. All righty, let's start putting on some stickers. All right, there she is with the new stickers on it. Oh yeah, this old boat is coming together, man. It's looking really good.